When they are brought together, your thought and the thought of truth, and perceived where they are, the choice between them is nothing more than a gentle awakening and as simple as opening your eyes to daylight when you have no more need of sleep. You look at it and you go, well, of course it makes sense to remember the truth. Of course it makes sense to accept love instead of attack. You know, it makes so much more sense than what I was trying to do before. You know, when I was a little girl, I had this one dream that happened all the time. And I can remember this dream. I remember waking up from this dream and the house that we moved from after my dad built our first house. He was in World War II. He got out of the Army, had a GI loan, bought a piece of property, and then built a house on that piece of property. And I've seen pictures of the tar paper shack that it started out as, and then he built everything from that. And this house was where we first lived, and then we sold that house, and then we bought a bigger house. And I was always just real proud of my dad that he was so good at doing stuff. And I remember I would have this dream, and it was at this house that he built so beautifully. And I planted these black seeds in the ground. This was my dream. And I watered these seeds. And out of these seeds grew this gorilla that chased after me. And I ran into the house and slammed the door that my dad built, you know, I mean, all this stuff that we did ourselves. And that gorilla, pushed open that door, and I ran into the bathroom and locked the door. And then he would pound on the bathroom door, and I'd wake up. Terrified. I'd be terrified. I had this dream all the time. I'd just have this dream, and I'd wake up terrified until one day. And I remember that day that I woke up from that dream, we were in this other house. And I remember my bedroom. I remember everything about this. Waking up from the last time I had the dream. And this is what happened in the dream. Planted the seeds, watered them. Gorilla grew. Gorilla chased me. I ran in, closed the door, ran into the bathroom, and my grandmother, the gorilla was pounding on the door, and my grandmother opened the door and let the gorilla come in and invited him in for tea. I was in the bathroom. I go, "You're crazy. He's going to kill you." And I, was shutting the door, but he didn't come pound on my door this time, the bathroom door. And I opened it up, and I saw him sitting there. I can still see it. The big bay window that my dad built, put in that front room with the cup of tea on his lap and the cup of tea on my grandmother's lap. And I never had that dream again. Well, I can see now what I did. I mean, it was telling me so much about me, wasn't it? I buried the seeds. I nurtured the seeds that created my own fear. I ran away from a fear that I made. I ran into the house, always trying to run from it, from the thing that I made, the thought I made. And my grandmother kind of represented the thought of Christ, if you will, the Holy Spirit, who saw not the fear, but the call for love, right? In the gorilla, in me, wisdom, called and allowed him to come in and sit down and brought out the better nature of him, which allowed me then to see the better nature of me and allowed me to stop having this dream. So I can see so clearly, I love this line where it says, "Do not try longer to keep apart your thoughts and the thought with a capital T that has been given you." Because as you bring those thoughts together, your thoughts, the mistaken thoughts, the illusion thoughts, the fear thoughts are purified. And what remains is the truth, the healing truth. And that's what it's saying. As they are brought together and perceived where they are, the choice between them is nothing more than a gentle awakening and is as simple as opening your eyes to daylight when you have no more need to sleep.